Hey guys, what's up? I'm doing a little bit of a random video today. I didn't really plan it out. It's just that a few things that I have seen or read or heard, within the celebrity world, comparing it to the astrology of the people or what's going on cosmically right now, it just kind of inspired me to just speak about it just a little bit. And as you can tell from the title, it's involving a couple different things and people. So just very quick, let me just ramble about this subject, all right? So a couple things here. Number one, mainly in this video, what I want to talk about is touch on the planet Neptune a little bit. Now, Neptune is considered one of the outer planets in astrology, which means it is further away from the sun. Usually the more further away from the sun a planet is, when its energy comes into contact with a person, say, for example, if you're a little more advanced in astrology, the personal planets are the sun, the moon, Venus, Mars, and Mercury. And if Neptune is making any type of aspect to your personal planets, it gives your personality the flavor of this outer worldly presence, right? Now, Neptune itself, it rules the sign of Pisces. Neptune's symbol is represented by a trident, which is because Neptune is named after Neptune, the god of the sea. And this is a very appropriate name for Neptune because Pisces, which the planet rules, is a water sign. There are 3 water signs in the zodiac, which are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Cancer is like a little pond, right? It's comfortable being in its little area, not venturing off too far. It's a little pond that stays put and has its little animals that are family, little duckies or frogs or something, little families that stay there generation after generation. Scorpio is more like a lake, okay? A deep, dark lake. And you don't really know where the bottom is, but it is pretty deep. And Pisces is the oceans, who are very wide, very deep, very intense. The waves are like really crashing around, okay? So if you put that into the personality of a person who has this energy in their chart, their emotional selves, which water rules in astrology, their emotional selves are so deep and complex. And they collect all of this garbage, which can be represented by other people's energies, other people's problems and issues and feelings and thoughts. Neptunian people or Pisces people are so tuned into that. They collect all this stuff. And if they are not completely in tune with themselves and know themselves, they can have all this junk hanging around that eventually pollutes their emotional waters, pollutes their personality, to where they're expressing all of this negative crap that they collected from other people. And really, they don't know where it came from a lot of times if they're unaware of themselves. Now, Piscean energy, Neptunian energy, it represents dissolvement because water can dissolve, right? When water comes in contact with the sand, it picks it up and it washes it into the ocean. So that means the boundary between the land and the ocean is dissolved. This applies to these people when they come in contact with other people, if they haven't put a boundary in place, all right? If they haven't put up like a barrier of some sort between their emotions and their self and another person, then this is what happens. They end up merging with other people, and this is not always a positive thing. Because, like I said, if they're around people who are negative, people who have problems and issues, they pick that up and they want to help because Neptunian people are very compassionate, actually. All they are representing is pure divine love. That's all they want to get in contact with and in touch with is pure divine love, which means love that knows no boundaries and love that doesn't see the physical as being important. It sees the heart, it sees the soul, it sees someone in need, and it wants to play that savior role. But at the same time, it could play that victim role too. Oh, woe is me. Oh, I'm so helpless. I'm sitting here, floating in the ocean, and I need someone to rescue me because this ocean is so deep and I'm going to drown because I don't know how to swim. Oh, everybody needs to help me. Woe is me. So that is the energy of, you know, the dark and the light side of Pisces and of Neptunian energy. And also this applies if someone has their sun or a personal planet in the 12th house of their birth chart. There are 12 signs on the zodiac wheel, and Pisces is the 12th and the very last. So if you have your planet, personal planet, in a certain sign, say for instance it's in Aries, but you are a Taurus rising, that means Aries is the sign before your chart starts, and that means it's in the 12th house. So you have your sun in the 12th house, and you can either play this victim role or this savior role very easily, or maybe even both. The celebrities that inspired me to think about this a little bit more and put something out there are number one, Mariah Carey. Because there is a story circulating right now about how her sister, Allison, is dying of AIDS, and Mariah is such a monster and not willing to help her out. Ooh, she's so selfish, right? Well, I do not know her sister's birth date, birth time, nothing. I don't know her age. I don't know any of that stuff, her statistics, right? But I did kind of watch some video footage, listen to some things about her sister's life story. And her sister has been into drugs and prostitution and things like that, apparently, from a young age. Her sister said, when she was asked, why did you get into prostitution instead of working? She said, no one would hire me, this, that, and the other. She gave like all these excuses, you know, why she couldn't work. Her sister has been into drugs. Her sister has had numerous children. From what I have read and listened to in interviews, Mariah has reached out to help her sister throughout the years, especially with her children, because she felt bad, you know, for the kids. And her sister continued to be on drugs, live that lifestyle, and have more children. So then Mariah's like, I don't know, I can't keep helping you and being an enabler, pretty much. Now her sister, you know, she has been HIV positive for a long time. And I have read some sources that say Mariah has helped her with her treatment, and some that say she has not, okay? But let's say that she has, because Mariah is a Taurus rising, and she is an Aries sun. That means her sun is in the 12th house. 12th house people, this goes along with Neptune and Pisces, very compassionate, and like I said, they play that victim or the savior role. So I'm pretty positive that somewhere in her personality is a person that, although Aries and Taurus, just being completely honest, those energies can be pretty selfish and self-centered. The 12th house energy is very compassionate and giving. Like I said, there's no boundaries between themselves and other people. So other people's problems become their problems. And they reach out, oh, let me help you, let me save you. So because of that, I'm pretty positive that Mariah has at some points in time reached out to her sister and tried to help her. But this is the thing. If you keep living the same lifestyle, okay, and someone is continuously helping you out and giving you money or whatever, and you don't do anything to better yourself, that person helping you out is becoming an enabler and not an assistant to get you back on your own 2 feet. Now, like I said, I don't know her sister's birth information at all. I tried to look for it a little bit. I didn't find anything, and I was like, whatever. But what I can intuitively sense about her sister is she does have some Neptunian energy, maybe Neptune in contact with a personal planet or two, Pisces energy, or energy of the 12th house, because that is the victim role. And I believe she may have some 8th house and or Scorpio energy, because she's living in the dark side of life. She's always been acquainted with the dark side, drugs, prostitution, and so on and so forth. People who have planets in the 8th house of their chart, and maybe even sometimes Scorpio, they are carrying the energy of other people's money. That's one way to describe the 8th house, is other people's money. You depend on other people for support. And the negative side is you can take that too far to where you feel like your problems are everyone else's responsibility, or you feel like you are entitled to money from other people. Because on the positive side, people who have 8th house energy, they do inherit, gain inheritances if there's some positive planets or aspects in there. So they gain inheritances and that are actually owed to them, or they may at some point, say for instance, hit the lottery or something, because that is the energy of money that you earn, not from working, but supplementary income, like from other sources. Lottery is one example, inheritances, as I've already given, or maybe taxes, you may have good luck there, or with insurance, or whatever, what have you. But the negative side is being someone who just absorbs and takes away from other people so easily, and you feel like that's owed to you, that's entitled to you. So this is what I sense about this person, just by the little bit of footage that I have witnessed and heard and seen, things that I've read, her own account of her own self, talking about Mariah's sister. So she is reaching out right now saying, I am dying of AIDS. Mariah, don't abandon me. Please help me. I'm the victim here. First of all, I don't mean to be ruthless and rude, but hey, I'm a Scorpio rising. I've got Pluto in my 3rd house right now of communication. So how I speak is going to be telling it like it is, period, point blank. People may beg to differ, but this is just me and how I am and my opinion that I'm putting out there. You can disagree if you want to. But I do not feel like anyone is entitled to anything just because of blood relation, okay? If you are a terrible person and you keep repeating the same mistakes in life, there is no one who is responsible for your actions except for you. You went out there and lived a terrible lifestyle that got you in this situation in the first place, contracting a deadly disease, and you got money, possibly got money from your family, and you may have blew it on drugs or whatever, what have you. That is your responsibility to fix. You can't keep turning to other people saying, but I can't. Oh, I can't work because it's everyone else's fault, the reason why I can't work and support myself. Now, I have seen this in my own personal life with people who have planets in the 8th house. They always find ways to get money from family, from the government, or they feel like they're entitled to things by nature, no matter what their personality is like, no matter what their relationship with their family member is like, just because they're blood related. Oh, well, that means you need to reach out to me and support me. And then they find some victim role to play, maybe because they do have 12th house or Pisces or Neptune energy at the same time. They're like, woe is me, it's because of this, I can't do for myself. So this is what I sense about the situation with Mariah. I don't feel personally like she has to do anything else for her sister. Yeah, okay, if she's dying, okay, she's on her last leg, maybe, reach out privately, in some sort of way, maybe anonymously or something, but I feel a sense of maybe she gave up a long time ago because of the enabler thing, Why would you keep enabling someone to live the same dirty lifestyle, negative lifestyle, And also one other thing about Neptunian people that makes me feel like maybe her sister has an abundance of that energy. Well, first of all, Mariah has her son in the 12th house. Her mom was a singer. I believe her brother's in the music business. Her sister actually sings a little bit. I heard some footage of her singing, but she didn't really pursue a career like Mariah. So if they all have this musical talent, there is some Taurus energy there in the family, but also there is obviously some Neptune and or Pisces or 12th house energy that is inherited because you inherit what's in your chart from your family. There are patterns within your family where you guys have a common energies, common traits, okay? Yes, genetics plays a part. Yeah, I know. But I'm speaking only astrologically here, okay? So her sister has this energy somewhere strong. I can sense it. I can feel it. One thing about these people is they are not always in touch with their physical bodies. Because like I said in the beginning, Neptune is the energy of an outer planet, okay? It's outer worldly. So their minds are always out there somewhere. The positive side of that is channeling a divine creativity to where you can do things like sing and dance, and these things just flow out of you from nature. And you don't always have to study music and study music notes and know how to read it. You don't always have to take dance classes and learn, okay, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You don't have to. You hear music and you just dance and you can do a phenomenal job. You hear music and you could just play it back on the piano. Or you hear a song and you can naturally just imitate it, okay? That is the positive side. The negative is not being in touch with your earthly self. People like this tend to give their body away too easily, okay, like prostitution and being promiscuous. They are so out of touch with reality that they do get into drugs because they don't want to face reality, or they are so caught up in being in touch with their outer world, that they always want to feel that outer worldly energy. And the outer worldly energy of Neptune and the 12th house of Pisces represents also divine spirituality and being in touch with God, if you want to label, that energy, or just the divine source of love, okay? Pure divine love that doesn't discriminate or anything like that. So they always have a craving to be in touch with that. But since they are an earthling, a human here in a body, they don't always know how to find that here on earth. They look around for it and they see it and they're like, I can't find it. I feel like something's always missing that I can't quite get in touch with. So then they find these things in the physical world, maybe drugs, alcohol, sex, music, something here to always keep them connected to that feeling of pure divine love. And they reach out to those things. And unfortunately, they get caught up in these repetitive patterns and actions that always keep them, so out of touch with reality. So therefore, they're not always in tune with their physical body. Okay, so this is why I sense that her sister is not in touch with her body, not in touch with earth and reality. She's just doing all these things out there that are destructive and then looking to other people like, please help me, and you need to help me because we're blood. Now, this is the impression I get from this story. This is what I intuitively pick up on it. And, like I said in conclusion with her story, I don't feel, and it may be because I'm very Uranian, Uranus rules my 4th house of home and family, I don't feel like blood entitles you to anything. If you're a bad person or you're making bad decisions with your own life, you need to stand on your own 2 feet and fix the problem. There's nothing wrong with occasionally, if you're really down and out at the bottom, reaching out to family, like, I really don't like doing this, but you know what, I really need some help, like, for real. If you do this too many times, you're going to be like the boy who cried wolf. And someone like Mariah, who's a Taurus rising and an Aries, they're all about their money. And they're not about to share it with any old person, But like I said, she's not completely stingy because of the 12th house energy. So I'm sure at some point she has tried to help. Her sister repeats her mistakes and she's like, I'm done. Tauruses don't have much patience with people who can't stand on their own 2 feet. Aries is the energy of fiery impatience, and they're like, one and done, you're out. I can't deal with it anymore. So that's my opinions on that story based on the Neptune energy. Now I'm going to get into Justin Bieber. Okay, I know it's weird relating the two artists, but this has to do with Neptune as well. Now, as I explained, Neptune dissolves boundaries between the self and other people. Justin Bieber is a Scorpio rising, a very late degree Scorpio rising, and also he is a Pisces sun at 10 degrees of Pisces. So I want you to remember the degrees part, it is important. Currently, Neptune is transiting at 10 degrees Pisces. That means Neptune is transiting over Justin Bieber's sun in Pisces. The sun is his vitality and his ego. If Neptune is dissolving, it's like here's his sun and here's Neptune. It's coming in contact with the sun. Dissolve, dissolve, dissolve. Dissolve the ego. Dissolve your vitality. Pisces are ruled by the planet Neptune. So your ruling planet is coming in contact with you, which is heightening the positive attributes of Pisces, like creative ability and compassion for others and things like that. But on the negative side, the barrier between himself and others is being dissolved. This is why this article came out recently. And it says, to my fans, I'm sorry I had to cancel the meet and greets, but I absorb people's energy too powerfully, too much, to where it drains me and leaves me feeling depressed. Now, this is absolutely true for Justin Bieber. People are getting upset. Oh, how could you be so selfish? Well, let me tell you, Justin is a human being and he has a right to be selfish right now. Number one, he has Saturn transiting through his first house of the self and the body. Saturn is a planet of restriction, of discipline, teaching you very hard lessons. And if you don't follow the lessons that Saturn's trying to teach you, he will bring something to light, to your attention, like an event or a happening that will make you, like force you into learning the lesson. There were eclipses in the month of March, and this article came out in March. There was an eclipse in Pisces, very close to the sun in Justin Bieber's chart in Pisces. So eclipses bring very powerful new revelations and realizations. And if it's close to the sun in your own chart, it's about yourself, right? And also there was an eclipse in Libra, a full moon eclipse in Libra, which counts as being in Justin's 12th house of compassion and of how you relax and of you putting boundaries up between yourself and other people. Those combined with Saturn in the first house of restriction, these eclipses that happened brought this to his attention. Look, the boundaries between me and other people are totally dissolved right now, and I am feeling it so strongly. I need to protect myself. I need to restrict myself from being in such close personal contact with others. I am sorry, but this is just what I have to do for me. So, is it selfish? A little bit, yes. But it's selfish in the positive way, for self-protection. If you are not a Scorpio rising, you are not a Pisces, or you don't have that any of the energies associated with those signs to understand this, then you're going to think, oh, he's a selfish little prick and this and that and talk a bunch of stuff. But you know what? This is something he has to do. Now, me personally, I'm a Scorpio rising and I'm a Pisces moon. So I have two of those energies that he has in his chart very, very heavily. And I'll tell you the same thing. See, Saturn is in his first house by house cusp, but by sign, it's in the second sign from his ascendant, which counts as also the second house of how you value yourself. So Saturn is also teaching him lessons of restricting himself from other people, but how he values himself. I'm also going through this too. Saturn teaching me how to value myself. And I have Neptune in my second house of values. So there are a lot of times boundaries dissolve between me and other people, letting other people define how I value myself, okay? And Saturn is teaching me lessons about Neptune. No, don't let other people define you. You need to value yourself and put up boundaries and space. So Justin is learning this lesson too. Value yourself, Justin. Take care of yourself. Take time out away from others because you're collecting all of their emotional garbage and it is festering in your waters of yourself and your own emotions, poisoning it, making you feel depressed and drained. Neptune is a draining energy. Even if you have a positive aspect to Neptune, by transit or by birth, Neptune can drain you of your energy and your vitality. So, with that being said, people need to understand about Justin. Let the boy be, okay? If he doesn't want to be in contact with people, he's not just being a stingy old Grinch. He is protecting himself, which people don't always do, and then they turn into drugs and alcohol to numb all of that, like Mariah Carey's sister, unfortunately. So that is all I have to say about that. I'm sure I can come up with so much more, but I don't want to make this video like an hour long. Plus my lunch break is over, y'all. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. If you have any comments or any thoughts on this issue, please leave them below. I would be interested to hear them. Even if you disagree with me, I love a good discussion, all right? Well, take care of yourselves, people. Remember, put those boundaries up, especially if you have that Neptune energy. And don't turn to the negative manifestations of that energy. Do something creative with it. Don't turn to drugs, okay? And take care of yourselves. Really, take care of yourselves. All right? Till my next video, guys. Peace.